One of these pineapples costs $100 and is pink inside, and the other is a regular yellow $2 pineapple. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think this is the pink pineapple, but subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think this is the pink pineapple. To find out, we're doing a drop test. 1 foot, no damage. 2 feet. It started leaking a little bit, but it was still good, so we jumped up to 5 feet. These pineapples won't break, so we got a bench and dropped it at 8 feet. So we found out this was the pink pineapple, and which ball will roll down the hill the fastest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Stripes is gonna win, but subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Solid is gonna win. Do both if you think the 8 ball will win. Go! The balls are off! The blue Solid is taking an early lead, but the Stripes can catch up. There's a lot of obstacles on this course. But in the end, Stripes win, and
I know you.
How high do I have to drop a safe before it breaks? I bought the cheapest Phoenix Sun. How much does it cost?
Si Angel.
Which will survive the highest drop? Prime versus Gatorade. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Prime is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Gatorade is gonna win. 1 foot. Neither took damage. 5 feet. The wrapper started to tear, so we're jumping up to 10 feet. I'm starting to see dents, so we gotta go higher to 20 feet. 3, 2, 1. The Gatorade exploded, so the Prime wins, and what $100 gets you in food? Which burger will rot the fastest? McDonald's versus Burger King. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Burger King is gonna win, but subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think McDonald's is gonna win. After 24 hours, Burger King's cheese started to drip, but they both still look great. After 2 days, there was no rotting yet, but on day 3, Burger King is starting to decay. After day 4, there was no mold yet, but Burger King's not looking too great, and McDonald's still looks brand new. So we're moving on to day 5, where there was so much moisture in both jars. And after 2 more days of moisture, Burger King rotted more, so McDonald's wins, and
this fight will...
Which will survive the highest drop? PS5 versus Xbox. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think PS5 is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Xbox is gonna win. 1 foot. Neither took damage. 5 foot. We're starting to see small scratches. 10 feet feels really high, but they're both in great condition still. So we're jumping up to 15 feet, and PS5's plastic's starting to come off, but they both still work. So we're going on to the highest drop ever. 3, 2, 1. The PS5 was destroyed, so the Xbox wins, and which ball will roll down the hill the fastest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think a soccer ball is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think a basketball is gonna win. Go! And the balls are off! The soccer ball takes an early lead and gets into the groove. But the basketball edges out the soccer ball and says, I am the champion. The soccer ball's starting to catch up, but it can't seem to pass the basketball right away. The soccer ball is right on the basketball's tail. The sewer jump might help the soccer ball last second. And right at the finish line, the basketball wins, and which fries will rot the fastest? McDonald's versus Chick-fil-A. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Chick-fil-A is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think McDonald's is gonna win. After 24 hours, there wasn't much movement, so both fries still look great. And after day 2, there was no mold yet. So we're going on to day 3, where there was a lot of moisture in both jars. And after 2 more days, both fries look soggy, but I'm starting to worry about the Chick-fil-A fries. So we're fast forwarding to day 7, where Chick-fil-A rotted more, so McDonald's wins, and which will stop a BB device first? Tinfoil versus Saran wrap. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think tinfoil is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Saran wrap is gonna win. 1 layer. Not a problem. 5 layers. It went straight through, so we're jumping up to 10 layers. Nothing's stopping this BB, so we're jumping up to 20 layers. 20 layers couldn't stop it, so it's time for 40 layers. I didn't expect that to go through, so we're doubling it to 80 layers. The BB device is strong, so now we have 160 layers. The Saran wrap stopped the BB, and the tinfoil didn't, so the Saran wrap wins, and which will survive the highest drop? Prime versus Red Bull. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Red Bull is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Prime is gonna win. 1 foot. Neither took damage. 3 feet. Cans are still good, so we're jumping up to 5 feet. And we're starting to see some dents. 10 feet. It's starting to get fizzy from all this pressure, so we're stepping it up to 20 feet. I'm worried because these cans are about to pop, so it's time for 30 feet. 3, 2, 1. Both cans exploded, but there was still Prime left, so the Prime wins, and which will stop the BB device first? Bubble wrap versus Saran wrap. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Saran wrap is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think bubble wrap is gonna win. 1 layer. It went straight through. 5 layers. Neither could stop it. 10 layers. We're gonna need more layers, so we're jumping up to 20. I drew a dot to test my accuracy. It couldn't stop my bullseye, so it's time for 50 layers. It went through the saran wrap, but the bubble wrap stopped it, so the bubble wins, and... Which pizza will rot the fastest? Pizza Hut versus Domino's. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Pizza Hut is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Domino's is gonna win. After 24 hours, both pizzas started to sag, but they both still look great. After 2 days, there was no rotting yet, but on day 3, Domino's is starting to decay. After day 4, both pepperonis are looking disgusting. So we're moving on to day 5 where there was so much moisture in both jars. And after 2 more days of moisture, Pizza Hut rotted more, so Domino's wins, and... Which soap has more pumps? Foam versus liquid. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think foam is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think liquid is gonna win. I started off the pump challenge in the kitchen sink. And after the kitchen sink was cleaned, we cleaned the bathroom kitchen, the washing machine, and then we decided to clean up the neighborhood. And as we were cleaning the neighborhood streets, I noticed my neighbors' cars were dirty. So I decided to clean all their cars. I was feeling good about my good deeds. And I wanted to do some more. So I went to the park, watered the plants, watered the grass, moisturized the benches. And the competition is close. So I kept pumping until foam ran out, so liquid wins, and... Which will survive the highest drop? Takis versus Hot Cheetos. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Hot Cheetos is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Taki is gonna win. 1 foot, no damage. 3 feet. Some chips definitely broke theirs, but it's time for 5 feet. Hot Cheetos did a somersault, but it was still good. So it's time for 10 feet. No pop yet, so we gotta go higher to 20 feet. 3, 2, 1. Taki's bags pop, so Hot Cheetos wins, and...
Jaká země?
Which will stop a BB device first? Apples versus oranges. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think apples are gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think oranges are gonna win. 1 fruit. It went straight through both. 2 fruits. That's not enough to stop it, so we're jumping up to 3 fruits. 3, 2, 1. It cleared the apples, but the orange stopped the BB, so oranges win, and... Which taco will rot the fastest? Taco Bell versus Del Taco. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Taco Bell is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Del Taco is gonna win. After 24 hours, the taco started to sag, but they both still look great. After 2 days, there was no rotting yet, but after day 3, both tacos are getting soggy. So fast forward 2 days, and the tacos are starting to look scary. And after day 5, I'm starting to see some spots. And after a whole week, Taco Bell rotted more, so Del Taco wins, and... Which will stop a BB device first? Hot Cheetos versus Takis. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Hot Cheetos is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Takis is gonna win. 1 bag. It went straight through. 2 bags. 2 bags wasn't enough, so we're jumping up to 3 bags. This BB device is unstoppable, so it's time for 5 bags. 3, 2, 1. It went straight through Hot Cheetos, so Takis wins, and... Which will survive the highest drop? Kobe's versus LeBron's. To test this, we put an egg in each shoe. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Kobe's are gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think LeBron's are gonna win. 1 foot, no damage. 3 feet. Surprisingly, the eggs are still good. We're jumping up to 5 feet and the Kobe's went flying. LeBron's egg was good, but I'm worried about Kobe's egg. So we're going to 15 feet. 3, 2, 1. Kobe's eggs cracked, so LeBron wins, and... Which ball will roll down the hill the fastest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think a yoga ball is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think a basketball is gonna win. Go! And the balls are off! The yoga ball is taking an early lead. But the basketball is like, hey, let me pass you real quick. Yoga ball is going off to the sidewalk. So is the basketball, and they're going off-road. Basketball has a chance to get stuck, but it dodged the wall. And the yoga ball is trying to keep up. This is a marathon and not a sprint, so the yoga ball is like, I'm gonna take my time. But the basketball is like, see you later, and the basketball wins, and... Which will survive the highest drop? Louis Vuitton versus Supreme. To test this, we put an egg in each bag. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think LV is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Supreme is gonna win. 1 foot, no damage. 5 feet. And the eggs are still good. So we're jumping up to 10 feet. Supreme's egg was still good, but I'm starting to worry about LV's egg. And we're gonna double the drop to 20 feet. These eggs are indestructible, so it's time for the tallest drop ever. 3, 2, 1. LV's egg was cracked, but Supreme's good, so Supreme wins, and... Which will roll down the hill the fastest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think a bowling ball is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think a basketball is gonna win. Go! And the balls are off! The bowling ball is taking an early lead. But the basketball is taking a jump and trying to take a shortcut. But the bowling ball is lightning speed and the bowling ball wins and... Which will survive the highest drop? Happy Meal versus Munchie Meal. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Happy Meal is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Munchie Meal is gonna win. 1 foot, no damage. 5 feet, another clean drop, but McDonald's handle's ripped off. So it's time for 10 feet. McDonald's did a front flip, but these boxes are indestructible. We gotta go higher, so we jumped to 20 feet. Some fries are starting to pop out, but they are still good. Now it's time for the 30-foot drop. 3, 2, 1. McDonald's exploded, so Jack in the Box wins and... Which basketball will roll down the hill the fastest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Wilson's gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Spalding's gonna win. Go! And the balls are off! Wilson takes an early lead and says, "This is why I'm the official ball of the NBA." Spalding's like, "I want my spot back." So it tries to take a shortcut off the curb. But Wilson's like, "See you later, alligator." But the thing is, Spalding is smarter than that and is starting to use some rocks to jump up and gain speed. But the Wilson says, "Time to turn on the jets." So the Wilson wins and... Which chicken sandwich will rot the fastest? McDonald's versus Chick-fil-A. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think McDonald's is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Chick-fil-A is gonna win. We put both chicken sandwich in sealed jars, and after 24 hours, both sandwiches look brand new. So we time traveled to day 3, where Chick-fil-A looked really dry, but McDonald's looks perfect. So it's time to move on to day 4, and I heard Chick-fil-A say, "Please help me." But McDonald's was like, "Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm fresh." So on day 7, we had to open up the sandwich, and we found more mold on Chick-fil-A, so McDonald's wins, and... Which soda will explode the highest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Pepsi's gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Coke is gonna win. First to 3 is the champion. 1 Mentos. And the Coke takes an early lead, so we're jumping to 5 Mentos. And Pepsi ties it up. And it's time for 10 Mentos. Coke wins round 3, so we're going on to 30 Mentos. 3, 2, 1. Coke wins and... Which shoe will survive the highest drop? Nikes versus Jordans. To test this, we put an egg in each shoe. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Nike's gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Jordans are gonna win. 1 foot, no damage. 5 feet, and the eggs are still good. So we're jumping up to 10 feet. And Jordan's was doing somersaults. Jordan's egg was pristine, but I'm starting to worry about Nike's egg. And it's time for the tallest drop ever. 3, 2, 1. Both eggs cracked, so it's a tie, and... Which chicken nuggets will rot the fastest? Chick-fil-A versus McDonald's. To test this, we put them in sealed jars. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Chick-fil-A is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think McDonald's is gonna win. After 24 hours, they look so good, I probably would eat them still. So we're fast-forwarding to day 3, where we're starting to see some decay. And after 5 days, there's so much moisture, we know that mold is coming. And after a whole week, Chick-fil-A molded more. So McDonald's wins, and... Which donut will rot the fastest? Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin'. To test this, we put them in sealed jars for a week. Like in the next 3 seconds if you think Krispy Kreme is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think Dunkin's gonna win. After 24 hours, you can start to see the glaze start to melt off. And fast forward to day 3, Krispy Kreme looks brand new, but Dunkin's starting to decay. And after 7 days, Dunkin' looks like a forest of mold. So Krispy Kreme wins, and... This is how I made the biggest mistake by delivering sushi 5,000 miles from the US to Japan. So my girlfriend's on vacation in Japan. I'm back at home in California, and she sent me a text saying, "I'm craving sushi." And I had the perfect idea. What if I surprise her and deliver sushi from my local grocery store? So I frantically went to Whole Foods, picked up some sushi, and my first issue is I had to put it into a container. So I went to Target, bought a cylinder, taped it up, and on to the airport I go. My first issue was getting it through TSA, but I'm a great boyfriend, so nothing is stopping me. After a 12-hour flight, I got to Japan and I thought she was in Tokyo, but I ran into another issue. She's across the country in Osaka. Damn. So Mr. Sushi and I traveled across Japan, and with her location, I knew she was at this sushi restaurant. So I ran inside the sushi store and... Bruh.
Zastav.
Which ball will roll down the hill the fastest? Like in the next 3 seconds if you think soccer ball is gonna win. But subscribe in the next 3 seconds if you think football is gonna win. 3, 2, 1, and the balls are off. Football takes an early lead and says, see you later. But the soccer ball gets in the groove and says, I'm gonna pass you. And while the football is in the lead, it turns around and says, football is the correct way to pronunciate this sport. But the soccer ball says, not on my watch, and it turns on the Jets. But in the end, the football wins, and